Next up, we have a question from VT Snacks. What preparations might be useful as I get married this year? We have highly imbalanced incomes and the ability for separate 403b, 457b, and 401k accounts to save in. Where should they start?
First of all, I think the financial order of operations, this is something people, and Bo, I'll let you jump in, but I think that it's interesting that people always, when they're doing net worth statements and other things, they ask me, is this per individual or is this household? Well, once you get married, I do think, even though things might be in individual accounts, like your Roth IRA, they don't let you do joint Roth IRAs. Your 401k, they don't let you do joint 401ks. Those are going to be in your names. But that doesn't mean the financial order of operations, when you're trying to figure out, hey, where is maxing out in reaching 25% of my gross income? That's per household. I want y'all to kind of look at your combined income, do the math on what that means, and then figure out how do you now allocate, like a jigsaw puzzle, in between all your different options, between the Roth IRAs, the retirement accounts, and you figure out those might be in specific ownership accounts, but you're looking at it as a single household.
When my wife and I got married, we went into this thing thinking, hey, what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine, it's all ours, it's all together. And so this really interesting thing happened to us when I recognized, as like this financial guy, man, I now have like a whole buffet of stuff I can choose from, right? My wife was a school teacher, and I'm like, man, okay, we can do our Roth IRAs, but man, okay, I could do health insurance through my job, or we could do health insurance through her job. I might have access at that time, it was a simple IRA, or we could do a 403b. And so what I think is great is even if you have imbalanced incomes, so often I see couples say, okay, well, I've got to put this percentage into my 401k and she's got to put this percentage in her 401k. I don't think that's the case. And a lot of times when we see spouses come in, like this is kind of a crazy thing, right? But let's say that one spouse has a really high income but a really crappy retirement plan, and the other spouse has a really low income but a really good retirement plan. It might not be uncommon for us to say, hey, we're going to take all of the lower spouse's pay and put that in the retirement plan because it's the best option available for the household. And maybe we're not maxing out the higher income spouse because the plan is not as robust. So you can actually look at all the 401ks, all the 457s, all the 403bs, and determine which of these are the most optimal for us to use. And if you end up filling up all the buckets, that's fantastic. What I would do is I would start at the best buckets first, following the financial order of operations. You want to hold up the thing for me? Following that, when you get to step number 6, max out the retirement options, you can choose, okay, whose are we going to max out? Do we do the 457 or the 401k or the 403b? It doesn't have to be even all the way across. I think too often spouses get like trapped in that, because I was having a conversation the other day with a client and I was like, hey, we want so-and-so to increase their 401k contribution because now they're over 50 and all the limits increase. And she's like, oh, well, if we do that, he's not going to have any paycheck anymore. And I'm like, he doesn't need it. You don't need a paycheck, right? This is part of the saving strategy. Money that flows into the household is household money. Money that goes into the savings accounts are household savings. I think it's okay to attack those decisions that way. So basically, I would lay out all the options you have available to you and make sure that you're selecting the ones that are best. Was that adequately addressing the question that was asked?
Well, I think
so.
everybody, I mean, everybody's, it's back to my snowflake or fingerprint examples. Every household that comes into our view is unique. And every relationship is unique too. And that's one of the things I think, the biggest thing I would say is have good communication. Mm-hmm. Y'all do the thing. I know it doesn't sound romantic, but you definitely go out to eat or do something where y'all actually sit down, talk about these things, figure out your path for the next 3 to 5 years. Don't let just one person who's interested in finance be the dominant force. Make sure the spouse that's got concerns or different thoughts that they feel heard as well. And y'all actually work through this together. Because look, I'm not going to say that every account has to be in joint name or you have to do. I think it's very unique to the couples. But the biggest thing, make sure you're communicating, and that if anybody has any insecurities or they feel like that something's not working right, that you talk about that stuff. Because that's a guy being married. I've been married 25 years. Communication can go a long way because everybody wants to feel heard and they want to make sure that they at least feel like that the part that they had in the plan or the thought that was going to be implemented actually has a chance of being trod out, or at least you talk it out to the point that you say, you know what, this is probably the better path, but and get buy-in from everybody involved, because it's so much more fun if you're on this journey together. That's why, look, we don't talk about it enough because I think we're not natural salesmen and we're always worried about selling. This is, if you go learn.moneyguy.com, we do have courses between the financial order of operations, know your number. Doing those things as a couple is not the worst thing in the world. Doing your net worth statement and actually reviewing that as a couple, not the worst thing. These are actually very valuable things to help facilitate that communication.